Hey there, and welcome to the Astro Biz Planning Workshop. My name is Kyra, and I am so excited that you're here today. So, first up, I'd love for you to download your workbook. Inside, you're going to find templates that are going to help you take what you're learning from this workshop and put it into your life and business, and really start to use it in a practical way to create more flow within your business. So step one, download your workbook and then come back. So what we're going to be talking about today is how to pretty much plan out your business strategy with a bit of astrological guidance. So I'm an astrologer, and I also, I run my own business. And, and since learning how to use astrology to run my business, I personally have found so many benefits. I can more easily attract paying clients. I feel more confident about the timing of my launches. And I guess, I also find a lot more balance now, because I know that, some days just aren't going to be great for doing business stuff. And so I just schedule those days off. And, as an entrepreneur, as someone running your own business, you're often tempted to just work on your business at every free moment that you can get. So astrology has really helped me find a lot of balance and, move away from that 24/7 sort of running your own business thing to kind of having a more chilled approach and just, trusting that everything will work out. So we're going to be looking at how to plan your week, how to plan your year, and also looking at an even longer term strategy for your business. So even if you're just at the beginning stages of your business, or, even just thinking about running a business, you're going to find so many insights in today's workshop, not just for, your business, but also for you. Because really at the core of your business, it's all about you. So, you've got to look after your own needs so that you can also, work on your business in a satisfying way. So first up, let's have a look at how to plan your entire week using astrology. So what we're learning here is pretty much the basis of what you'll find out in the Soul Aligned Business Mastermind, which is launching really soon. So if you are really loving the information that you learned today, check out the Soul Aligned Business Mastermind so that you can really deepen your knowledge of how to run your business in a soul-aligned way. So planning your week, I just love this. Since I discovered that each of the days of the week is associated with a different planet, and that energy of that planet affects the energy of the day, it made so much sense. And so now I have I plan out those things in my business that need doing every week, but I plan it in alignment for the energy of those days. So let's go through the days and I'll talk about them one by one, and hopefully, if that's not making sense, hopefully it will start to make sense as we go through it. So Monday is ruled by the moon. The moon is all about our intuition and our feelings. So on Mondays, it's all about how we feel. And this is why I think Monday-itis is such a thing, because we just don't feel like getting out of bed and going to work at a job we hate. And that's probably why a lot of you are here and, on this soulpreneur journey, because, you kind of got to the point where you're like, why am I working for someone else doing something that I'm not actually passionate about? So Mondays are a really good time to tune into your intuition and to your feelings. What do you actually feel like doing today? What is your intuition telling you that's, going to be the best thing that you can do for your business today? And so, Mondays I find are not the most productive days, because we're often so caught up in our feelings, our inner compass, and our emotions. And so we often we do a lot of things, but we may find ourselves, I don't know, procrastinating and not really focusing on our longer term goals. And that's okay, that's cool. Mondays, I just don't even really, I do a lot of planning on Mondays personally. I don't often do a lot of like client work on Mondays. But if you are like a intuitive reader, if you read tarot or astrology charts for clients, then Mondays could be a really good day to have open on your schedule because you are more in touch with your feelings and intuition on Mondays. On Tuesdays, Tuesday is ruled by Mars. Unlike Monday, which is kind of like a wishy-washy sort of energy, Tuesday is really productive. In fact, Tuesdays are probably the most productive day of the week. And so generally, I think about all the things I want to do on Monday, and then on Tuesday morning, I wake up, I'm motivated, I'm energized, and I just get in there and do it. So often on Tuesdays, I'll do a lot of the work that I have to do for the week. So I may record an entire course on a Tuesday, or I might, schedule out like a month's worth of social media posts or something like that. Like you'll just get into this flow. You'll feel really motivated to work on whatever it is you're working on. And yeah, you'll just really get stuff done on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is about communication and networking and connecting with other people. So Wednesdays I find are a really great day for working on, communicating with your clients or communicating with your followers. So showing up, being present on social media on Wednesdays, it's really fun because you naturally feel like connecting with people anyway. So this is often a day that I'll spend a little bit extra time on social media and engaging with other people. And Wednesdays are also a great day for writing out your newsletters or writing a blog post. In fact, I think for years, I've always had this thing where I just publish a blog post on a Wednesday. Throughout different businesses that I've had, always Wednesday was my blog day. So, if blogging is an aspect of your business or, doing a podcast, Wednesdays can be a really good day to either, record that content or, write that content, create that content, or to share it with others, because that's the energy of Mercury. It's about sharing your ideas, expressing your ideas. So Thursdays are ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of joy, luck, and optimism. So on Thursdays, we're usually feeling pretty happy, and this is a really good day to focus on the joyful things that you do in your business, the things that you actually love doing in your business. So, sometimes we have those things in our business that we, just don't really like doing. And then there's other things in our business that we love doing. And so, as an example of what I love to do in my business on Thursdays is record a meditation, or back in the days when I was doing more yoga in my business, recording a yoga flow to put up on YouTube, and sharing those joyful, peaceful vibes through my meditations and yoga. But it can be something else. Whatever brings you joy and happiness, that's what you should be focusing on Thursdays. Fridays is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the planet of love and money. So, unless your business is, something to do with relationships or something, then love might not be an appropriate thing to focus on. But as a side note, in your personal life, Fridays are a great night for having a date night and bringing a bit of romance into your relationship. But for business, we can focus on money on Fridays. And so on Fridays, every week I will check in with my finances, and I'll set new financial goals, new income goals, and I'll, review where money's flowing into my business, where money's flowing out. And I do this every week on a Friday. And, some people are like, oh, they put off looking at their finances and stuff, and it creates such a blockage. But since I've started doing this weekly check-in with my money, like, I know exactly where my business is at financially, and it keeps inspiring me, like, oh, this didn't do so well this week, I could do better with that next week, or something like that. So, like, if you're the sort of person who does not want to look at the finances of your business, and you only do taxes like when they're like pretty overdue, then this could be something that could really help turn around the financial success of your business. Because when you open your eyes and you're actually, looking at the money that's flowing in and out of your business, then, you're going to be focusing on creating more profits instead of hiding away, thinking, oh no, I'm not making that much money. So finances on Fridays, it's a really good thing to focus on. On Saturdays, Saturday is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is all about self-discipline, challenge, and responsibilities. And so I guess, like, on Saturdays, it's all about just jumping in there and, having that self-discipline to keep working through hard stuff, to, do the essential things, the chores in our life or in our business, but, the essential parts that really build the foundation of your home or your business. So whether you're working in your home or business on Saturdays, I'll leave that up to you. You, as a solopreneur, can create your own working hours and working days. And then on Sunday, have a guess what planet rules Sunday? It's the sun, if you didn't guess that. So the sun is all about just letting our soul shine and, like, just, enjoying life. And so if there is, I work on Sundays, but if there's a day that you're going to take off, then, take the Sunday off, or, use Sunday to show up authentically on social media and, like, share what's actually happening in your life. Share something that's really, like, authentic. Creativity is also something that really blooms well on Sundays. So if there's, something creative that you're wanting to work on in your business, maybe, playing around with creating some posts for social media, or, there's something else creative. Maybe you're doing photography for your products or something. Sunday can be a really beneficial day for doing this, because naturally you just feel more inspired and original, and your creative juices flow a bit better. So there we go. That's how to plan your week, by looking at the days and which planet rules each day, so you can know the energy of that day. It's all about the energy and, how we are all kind of feeling on those days. So, have a look at that throughout your week and, go with that for a few weeks. And after a few weeks, you might begin to pick up on those daily energies based on the planets that rule each day. When I first started, I didn't really get it. And then the more I did it, I found that actually, like, those energies really do show up. And then you can learn how to, work with those energies best. So another thing to be aware of when planning out your week is when the moon is void, of course. So the moon, as you know, it moves through the sky, it moves through the different zodiac signs. What happens though is there's every about 2 days, there's a few hours, or it can even last for a whole day, when the moon isn't making any aspects to any planets until it moves into the next sign. if that sounds overly complicated and you don't understand, that's cool. But the point is, you need to be aware of when the moon is void, of course, because during those hours when the moon, isn't making any aspects, then we can often feel quite unproductive. Things don't go to plan. Clients don't show up. Appointments are cancelled. Things just don't go as well when the moon is void, of course. So I pretty much block off my calendar and I won't see clients during that time. And yeah, like it's really important to just take that time to, I guess, focus on the maintenance of your business rather than like coming up with new things to do. Because often the ideas that we have when the moon is void, of course, they aren't always the best ideas. They don't always, end up successful. So, if the moon is void, of course, just, take that morning off work or, whatever. If the void, of course, moon is happening later in the day, take the afternoon off and just, do something fun instead. Meditate, do yoga, do something creative. Like, take a break from the stuff that's really serious and the stuff that's really going to have an impact on your business. Because, working through the void, of course, moon, I've just learned, it's cool. You just don't need to do it. So, so there's probably the two most important things to consider when planning out your week. So you'll see in your workbook that there is a page where you can plan out your week in accordance to those planetary energies of which planet is ruling each day. So have a think about all the things that you do in your business anyway. Perhaps you already have a day that you're regularly sending out a newsletter or recording podcast episodes or creating content for social media, and feel into where you could kind of schedule that in so that those planetary energies help it flow a bit better. And then looking at the void, of course, moon, find out when the moon is void, of course, for the week ahead and block off those times if you can. And just be aware of what happens when the moon is void, of course. I'd love for you to come to your own sort of conclusion about the energies that are going on, the planetary energies and how that's affecting your business. And that includes when the moon is void, of course, how is that energy affecting your business too? So there's, lots of different factors and, there's different ways you can interpret it as well. So I feel that, it's really empowering to be able to feel into that energy yourself rather than just be doing something because you're told. So feel into it. And if it feels good to you to, block off your calendar when the moon is void, of course, and that's cool. And if it doesn't feel good, then that's cool too. So moving on now to the next section of our AstroBiz planning workshop, we're going to be talking about planning out your year. So you may already be aware of the sun seasons. So that's like, when the sun's moving through the different zodiac signs. So, you probably know that Aries season starts late March and ends around mid-April. And then Taurus season starts from April to May. And then we've got Gemini season going from May through to June and so forth. And so each of these sun seasons have a certain energy, and this energy affects everyone. So by knowing the energy of the sun season, you can understand not only what your focus is, but also what your followers are, what the people on your newsletter list are going to be feeling, how your clients are going to be feeling. You're going to already know a bit about, that energy that everyone is feeling, what we're all naturally turning to. So I'm going to go quickly through all those sun seasons now. And then we're going to take it a step further as well to find your personal focus throughout each sun season. Aries season. Aries season is when we're naturally focused on creativity and creating new things. Aries is all about new beginnings and following our passions. So often, we'll have a lot of energy to start new things during Aries season. During Taurus season, we're kind of losing our steam towards, following those passion projects. And so this is often a time when we're looking for a more practical way, maybe a more efficient way or sustainable way to continue following those projects to bring them through to completion. And, often this is a time when, because a lot of people just they lose that steam, they lose that energy, and so those projects that they started during Aries season may not keep following through. But during Taurus season, we feel more calm, we often feel more centered and grounded, and we're naturally wanting to connect with nature, and we often spend a bit more time outdoors during Taurus season too. Gemini season is when naturally we're focusing on connecting with others. We're naturally sociable and, we want to go out and explore and, see new people, meet new people, have conversations. We want to connect. Gemini season is really, just all about that connection, finding more connection in our lives. During Cancer season, we kind of tend to hibernate a little bit as we withdraw and focus on creating more comfort and security within our home and family lives. Cancer season can also be a time when we're focusing on our emotions and healing that inner part of ourselves. So a lot of people do turn inwards during that Cancer season, and this can be a really good time for, self-guided things telling your client this is how you can do this thing yourself, and then they do that in their own space and time. Then we have Leo season, and Leo season brings a lot of confidence and again creativity, a bit like that Aries energy. Leo season is when we really want to shine bright out into the world. So we have a lot of confidence to share what we've been working on. We share what we're passionate about with other people. We share our opinions and we share about the things that really matter to us as well. So Leo season can be a really good time for, launching new things, for trying out new things, and just sharing those things that you're passionate about with the rest of the world. Virgo season is a really great time for decluttering and editing your life. During Virgo season, I think we naturally find ways to make our lives be more efficient. And so for some people that can be through revamping their morning routine. People might start naturally wanting to wake up a bit earlier. They might want to find a bit more self-discipline to, go for a morning walk or do yoga every day or, whatever health goals that they're working on. Like Virgo season does generally tend to bring our focus towards health. So if you are a health professional or, you have something to do with physical health in your offerings, this can be a really good time of the year to share that with your followers, to launch that, because people are naturally going to be focused on health anyway. Then we have Libra season. Libra season is when we naturally want to find a bit more support in our lives. Libra is associated with relationships and romance. And so often, we're turning to partners. We're looking for romance, maybe dating. It could be something that's on people's minds during Libra season. So I guess during Libra season, it's about, how can you support others, or where do you need support in your life? It's all about giving support, but also knowing when to ask for support when you need it. Scorpio season is a time of transformation when I guess, we see our old way of living and we're ready to transform into a new way of living. And so the Scorpio season energy can be a really great time for like a weight loss transformation or other transformations that may be a bit more internal, such as transforming mindset. So if you have something that, could really transform people's lives, then focusing on that transformation throughout Scorpio season will really help magnetize clients towards you because they're naturally seeking out ways to transform themselves. Sagittarius season is when we're looking for a deeper meaning in our life. We often want to explore and maybe educate ourselves throughout Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season is when, we knuckle down and we want to like read a good book or dive deep into a course. So if you have something that can really help bring a deeper meaning to other people's lives, then during Sagittarius season, this is a great time to share that and, focus on, that deeper meaning. Like, what is the deeper meaning behind your work? What is the deeper meaning? Why should people buy from you? Like, what is this deeper meaning towards what you're offering? Capricorn season comes next. Capricorn season, is pretty much like at the start of the year, like late December, January. And so naturally, this is a time when people are setting New Year's resolutions and they're setting their goals for the year ahead. And so this is a really great time of year when, you focus on that long-term strategy, those long-term goals. And like in my own business, this is when I kind of sit down and I'm like, right, this is what I'm going to do this year. And, maybe there's something that you have that could help people with that too. So maybe, going back to health or something, like maybe, you can play on, is your New Year's resolution to improve your health? And then, that's what you're sharing. So, how can you help people meet their long-term goals is what your business could be focusing on during Capricorn season. Aquarius season is when we naturally focus on tweaking and adjusting our ideas, especially like those goals that we set during Capricorn season. As the year progresses a little, we're kind of like, okay, how can I make this even better? And this is often a time when we get lots of inspiration, and honestly, like those plans that we made in January or December, we totally change all that. So during Aquarius season, be open to changes, but also know that that's what your like clients and your followers are also going through. They're also looking at ways to make improvements, like they're looking for new solutions. So is there like something new and inventive that you can suggest to them? During Pisces season, and Pisces is the last of the zodiac signs, this is a time of emotional renewal. A lot of the time, this is when we can feel very sensitive, not only with like our emotions, but also our intuition. So during Pisces season, if you do something that works with emotions, like coming to my mind now is like crystals, like how can crystals, help with emotional healing? How can crystals help you with your emotions? So if you have a crystal business, then that's, something you could be focusing on when it's Pisces season, playing on that, that perspective of, emotions and feelings. How can these crystals increase your intuition? That sort of thing. Because it's all about, no matter what season it is, no matter what sun season it is, it's all about tuning in to that energy and understanding that not only that's, what we're naturally going to be focusing on, but everyone else is also going to be focusing on that energy. And so when you can tap into that collective energy through your marketing, through what you're posting on social media, through your offerings that you're offering out to the world to be paid for, if you can tune into that collective energy, then your product or your service will feel really relevant to everyone because that's what they're tuning into. Maybe not everyone, I'll take that back, but to the people, to your target market. Okay, like people are going to be naturally feeling that way anyway. So in your workbook now, you'll find space there to record your ideas for the energy of each of the sun seasons. And also, what are your ideas for your particular business? Like I've given a few different varied examples for different businesses throughout the different energies of the sun season. But think about what's relevant to you, to your business, to your offerings. And if you don't even know what you're offering yet, don't worry. Like if you're still in the real early stages of planning your business, that's totally fine. Just, brainstorm, come up with ideas. You don't have to go with everything that you come up with. Sometimes it's just good to just brainstorm and just come up with all these different possibilities that, are available to you. We'll go more into planning your offerings in a really soul-aligned way in the Soul-Aligned Business Mastermind too. So if you're not really sure where to start with your business, but you have that calling and you have that passion, then the Soul-Aligned Business Mastermind will really help you get from that planning stage and actually to get it out there and start making money. So what we're going to be looking at now is taking that energy from the sun seasons and creating a bit more of a personal approach to it. So pull up your astrology chart. If you don't have an astrology chart, that's okay. You can get a free one online. Do a quick search, free astrology chart. Astro.com is a great place that I often recommend. It's pretty simple to use. You just need to know your birth date, your location of birth, and also your time of birth. Your time of birth is kind of essential just so that we get the placement of the houses correct. But if you don't know your time of birth, that's okay. If you can play around on whatever website you're using to pull up your astrology chart, we can pull up something called sun houses rather than the Placidus house system, and that will give you a lot of insights anyway. And of course, if you have no idea, I'm available for readings, and during a reading, I'm so happy to send you through a copy of your birth chart too and explain what it all means. So planning your year, for your natural kind of focus. So we've already talked about the collective focus. So for example, that Aries energy is about new beginnings, but on your chart, Aries may fall into a different house. Into any house. There's 12 houses. So for example, Aries on my chart falls in my 5th house mostly. And so I know that when it's Aries season, I'm going to be focused on that 5th house energy of creativity and having fun and play. So it's still that new beginnings energy that we talked about with Aries, but because it's showing up in my life in my 5th house, then that means that's, natural that I'm going to be focused on. So we all will still feel the zodiac energies, but you can take it a step deeper by looking at what houses each of the zodiac signs fall in and understanding, how that will show up in your life. So I'm just going to go through the houses and explain what each of the houses means. And in your workbook, you can be guided through kind of pairing up the energy of the zodiac and the houses. So the first house is all to do with your appearance and how you portray yourself to the world. So in terms of business, the first house can have a lot to do with our branding. So this can be a good time to look at, your photos that you have of yourself or your products, how are you appearing to everyone? This can be a good time to maybe, play around with different branding, or make your website look a bit more user friendly, or assessing, what's showing up in your Instagram or Facebook feed. Like, how are these posts showing up to the world? Like, is this the sort of image that you want to portray? So the first house, it's all about, how we appear to everyone else. The second house is when we focus on what we want to offer. So once we already know like who we are, which is the first house energy, who your business is, the second house is about what does your business offer to the world? What are your products and services, or even your goals within your business? So this can be a time when maybe you come up with different offerings, or you renew offerings. So taking a look at, the things that you're actually offering out to the world, such as like whether you're doing readings or selling physical products, or maybe you want to launch a program or write a book or something. And we'll talk a bit more about this sort of stuff too. But figuring out what it actually is that you want to share with the world. The third house is the energy about communication and connection. And so this, when that energy of your third house is coming into your life, when the sun's moving through your third house, then this is the time when you really feel motivated to share things with others, connect with others. This can be a great time to network, like maybe going to business networking events, or, finding different groups online. Facebook groups are actually really amazing because there's so many things, and you can find business groups or like-minded groups where you can, naturally just suggest your business, like promote your business anyway, because it's so in alignment with that group. And, in failing that, you can always create your own group as well. That's something that can be really fun to do when the sun is moving through your third house. When the sun is moving through your fourth house, then this is a time of creating more security. And I feel like this is a really good time of the year to focus on financial security in your business. So looking at, where your money's flowing out, looking at where your money's flowing in, how can you secure that income? How can you create more security with the money that you're receiving in your business? And so this can be like maybe a time of the year when you want to chase up on, outstanding debts or things like that, or, maybe come up with an offering that does have that security of income, such as something that's got a payment plan or a membership or something like that, where you just have that continual income flowing into your business. The fifth house energy is all about fun, play, and creativity. So when the sun is moving through your fifth house, then naturally you're going to be focused on creating stuff and using your creative muscles, so to speak. So if there's something that you really want to create that you want to be fun and playful, then this is a time of year when naturally you'll just do it because it feels like fun. Like you may even find yourself focusing on those funner things in life. Funner isn't a real word, I know. Those things that really light you up, rather than being like bogged down in all the mundane everyday tasks. When the sun moves through the sixth house, that sixth house energy is about like our daily routines. And so this can be where you kind of assess like, your working hours and your, day-to-day runnings of your business. Like when the sun's moving through that sixth house, you might find ways to be more productive or run your business more efficiently. It's a really good time for like editing out the stuff that, you don't even really need to be doing. And I know sometimes, like as business owners, we can get like really bogged down in doing all these things, and it can be such a waste of our time because in the grand scheme of things, they don't really matter. As an example, sometimes, I'll just spend so long writing out these, huge captions for like your Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And I'll just procrastinate over it, or I'll just go back and edit and, think, oh, it's not right. Oh no, I need to change that. And I waste so much time, and really I could have just, done a short and sweet caption and it probably would have performed better. So, things like that where you're just spending so much time doing little things and, but these little things take up so much of your time. So editing that stuff out. When the sun then moves into the 7th house, this 7th house energy is about giving and receiving support. So, when the sun's moving through your 7th house, how can you support others in your life? How can you support your clients? How can you support your followers? I feel like, sometimes this can be a really good time for working with one-on-one clients as well. That 7th house energy is a lot to do with that one-on-one energy. So, if one-on-one work isn't something that you normally offer, maybe you'll feel called to try that out when the sun is moving through your 7th house. Also, when the sun is moving through your 7th house, this is a really good time for asking for support and receiving support, such as getting a coach, a mentor, or some other form of support where, you can ask someone about all your doubts and insecurities and you can learn from them and they can support you and, give you that nudge of encouragement to actually do things. When the sun is moving through our 8th house, the 8th house energy is all about business and making money. So this can be a time of the year when we really focus on, how can we maximize profits? How can we run our business better? How can we make more money? How can we turn other people's money into our own money? And so often, our focus will really turn towards money and business when the sun's moving through that 8th house. When the sun is moving through your 9th house, you're naturally going to be called to going a bit deeper into why you do what you do. And this can be a really good time of the year when you want to actually learn more or research more, educate yourself more. If you're in a profession that requires continuous professional development or education, then often when the sun is moving through your 9th house, you'll be called to just dive in there and do that required education. But even if that's not a requirement of your profession, then this is often a time when we just feel like learning more about what we're passionate about anyway. And, for your business, when you're learning, it's often really good to share what you're learning. So because you're learning so much when the sun is in your 9th house, I feel like it's really beneficial to share what you're learning. Share that on Instagram, do a live and just be like, oh, I read this book and it was amazing and it was all about this and it really helped me. So yeah, something like that, because sometimes it's not just all about, promoting our own work, but it's about sharing our own journey and sharing what we're learning with others so that others can learn too. When the sun moves through your 10th house, your focus turns towards your career and your legacy and the impact that you want to create in the world. And this is often when we start to think about our longer term goals, where do you want your business to be in maybe 5 years from now or 10 years from now? What is this legacy that you're creating? And this can be a really good time of the year when you do sit down and you think about those longer term goals, which we're going to talk about real soon. And creating a strategy, creating that long-term strategy. And then when the sun moves through your 11th house, this can be a time when we focus on making the world a better place for everyone. We find more compassion for, everyone else. And we often, I guess, maybe find ourselves doing a bit of free work. Like we want to just share what we're passionate about with everyone. And so this can be a really good time when, you're working with lots of different people at once and, doing group sessions of some sort, because, you naturally want to help a lot of people and change the world and make the world a better place. Then when the sun is moving through your last house, the 12th house, the 12th house energy is about finding a deeper purpose to your life and I guess integrating that. And so, you've done all this stuff like for the rest of the year, and generally during that month or so when the sun is moving through your 12th house, this is a really good time to actually step back a bit from your business and take a bit of time off. And you'll find that when you do that, you can really refresh and renew and recharge yourself. It is a time of renewal as you kind of let go of the past year and you get ready to step back in to that first house energy of rebranding and how you appear to the world. So yeah, open up your workbook and have a look there at how you can tie the energy of the houses into the energy of the sun seasons throughout the whole year so that you can figure out your natural focus for each sun season or each month approximately. And that way you'll know, just what part of your life you'll naturally be focusing on so you can create more flow and ease within your business and your life. So now we're going to be looking at a bit more longer term. This is something that's pretty fun. So what we can do is your business, hopefully you'll be running it for a few years, and it's completely natural to go through different things. Like your business is allowed to evolve throughout the years. Like you may not always be doing the exact same thing that you're doing right now. So one way that we can look at, what to kind of expect your focus to be turning towards as the years go by is by looking at where Jupiter is going to be falling on your chart. Jupiter, we've already kind of discussed the energy of Jupiter right back when we're talking about the days of the week. Jupiter, the energy of Jupiter is about joy and luck and optimism. And Jupiter moves through each zodiac sign, taking about 1 year to move through a zodiac sign. Jupiter will go into retrograde, and so it'll kind of come back and, hover in the sign, and then, anyway, it'll completely cross over into the next sign about a year later. So tracking where Jupiter is on your chart can really help you understand the area in your life that's going to bring a lot of growth. Jupiter is associated with growth and expansion, as well as joy and luck. So have a look. What we're going to be doing so at the moment, Jupiter is in Aquarius. It's 2021 when I'm recording this. I don't know, you could be watching this way into the future. So I'm going to go forward a few years to kind of help you understand the different energy. So anyway, we're looking at the Aquarius energy right now for 2021. Jupiter will be in Aquarius for, pretty much the rest of this year. So find Aquarius on your chart and then find what house is Aquarius in. So for me, Aquarius is mostly in my 4th house. And so my 4th house is to do with, home, family, creating more security in my life and in my business as well, creating that financial security. So for me, for this year, for 2021, then, that's what has been the biggest area of my growth. And literally I've done heaps of house renovations this year, and there's been a lot of growth within my family. We've been homeschooling, and like my attention has been really focused on my kids for a lot of this year as well. But in my business, yeah, I've been playing around with different ways that I can create that financial security. So we're going to have a look again at those houses and like where Jupiter is showing up in your house, and that can kind of help you understand how to plan out for future years to kind of see where your focus is going to be naturally going anyway. So for example, you know you want to write a book, but you're not ready to write a book this year. Well, I can kind of help you understand, you know, what year would be a great year for, for writing a book. So knowing that Jupiter is in Aquarius for most of 2021, Jupiter will then move into Pisces. Jupiter will be in Pisces for most of 2022. And then Jupiter will be in Aries for most of 2023, and so forth. If you really want to get exact about where Jupiter is, a really great website I use is called planetwatcher.com. And you can just, you know, pull up Planet Watcher and you can see exactly where the planets are in the sky, exactly what degree, what sign they're in at any given time, whether it's now, in the past, in the future. You can toggle forwards, toggle backwards. It's great. So use that if you want to get really exact. But at the moment, I'm just kind of giving you like a brief sort of rundown. So, for example, if Jupiter is moving through your first house, then for that year, you're probably going to be really focusing on who you are and what you have to give, and like just really like, you know, who you are, who your business is, and like this could be a really great time to even start a new business. That first house is a lot to do with new beginnings. So Jupiter in the first house, moving through your first house, can really help you find more luck and optimism through being your authentic self, and, you know, showing your authentic self in your business. With Jupiter moving through your second house, then, you know, this can be a really good year of manifesting goals. That second house energy is, you know, about our values and our desires. So it's, you know, we often will find a lot of growth in the things that we want in life, what we're trying to manifest into our life, but also finding what we're offering. So this can be a really good year of actually refining the offerings in your business. When Jupiter moves through your third house, this can be a really good time to start writing that book, or, you know, perhaps start a podcast, start a blog, something else where you're using that energy of like connection and communication. Maybe, you know, start a group, a social networking group, or something. And then Jupiter moving through the fourth house. I've talked a bit about this just before. You know, this is a good time for creating more financial security within your business. So, you know, it's something where, you know, people are subscribing or creating payment plans. And so you're getting that continued income, you know, regularly. When Jupiter's moving through your fifth house, this can be a year when you focus on something that's really creative. So, for example, something that's coming up for me is that I want to make a tarot deck or an oracle deck. In fact, I've got like many different ideas for different decks. And so I know that as Jupiter gets closer to my fifth house, then that's probably something that I'm going to start working on. So yeah, for me, that's how I'm seeing that. But for you, it can be something else that really feels creative or fun or playful. You know, how can you make your business, you know, a bit more playful maybe, or inject a bit of fun into your business? So that's what to focus on during that year when Jupiter is moving through your fifth house. When Jupiter is moving through your sixth house, then this is a really, you know, good opportunity for expanding your day-to-day work and maybe also your health, like focusing on, you know, how you can show up to yourself first and fill your own cup first before you go to work. And, you know, I feel like maybe when Jupiter moves through the sixth house, like maybe you'll have that better work-life balance because you're prioritizing your own needs first, and then you just know that, everything's organized in a really efficient way, and you'll go to work and you'll be really productive, or you'll go to your home office and be really productive because you've already taken care of yourself. So that's the area of growth to expect when Jupiter's moving through your 6th house. When Jupiter's moving through your 7th house, then this can be, when we attract partners into our lives. The 7th house is to do with relationships. So, maybe finding a romantic partner, but also finding support in your life, such as, getting a mentor for that year, or a coach for that year, or, someone that's really going to be there to support you and, help you meet your goals in a really supportive way. Someone who can encourage you to meet your goals. But likewise, with Jupiter moving through your 7th house, you'll also find a lot of joy through being a support person for others. So during that year when Jupiter is in your 7th house, then that can be when, you just really love to support others. You might, do a really big group coaching program or something, and, you just, want to support people. When Jupiter is moving through your 8th house, then this can be a really good year for your business and for making money. Like, you'll probably find that could be one of the years where your business actually makes like a lot of money, and then, other years maybe not so much, because, Jupiter is going through that 8th house energy and creating growth with your finances, creating growth with your business. When Jupiter is moving through your 9th house, then that year can be a really good year for teaching others, maybe, teaching in the form of courses, maybe speaking, maybe writing a book, going really deep and, sharing this deep message. Like this message may take a long time to really come out. You may work for many months on creating that course or creating that book, but you'll have that like dedication to really, knuckle down and do it. When Jupiter moves through your 10th house, then you'll find a lot of growth with your career path and also the legacy and impact that you're creating. And so this can be a really good time when, you really do see clearly the bigger picture of your business and where your business is taking you in the long term. So this can be, a time when you do focus on growing your career. Like, what is the next step that you need to do to, like, push you a bit further on your career path, whatever that may be. When Jupiter is moving through your 11th house, and this year is when you'll expect a lot of growth within groups, perhaps even friendships, or your community, whether that's maybe growing your own community, growing your own group. Perhaps your business has some sort of group, maybe a free group on Facebook, a free community where people can hang out and chat about like-minded stuff. When Jupiter's moving through your 11th house, this can also be a really great time for, growing your own team as well. So like maybe hiring more people into your business will be something that will be really beneficial for you with Jupiter moving through the 11th house. And then Jupiter moving through your 12th house, you'll find a lot of growth within your own, spiritual journey and that spiritual purpose to your life. And so you may even find yourself withdrawing a little bit from your business as you kind of figure out exactly where it is you're going, what it is you're doing, and why, most importantly, why you're doing this, why you're running your business. And it can be a time when, you just want to take a step back and reflect a bit before you, find that energy to go back out there and keep pushing with your business. So in your workbook, you'll find a section there where you can create your long-term strategy by checking out where Jupiter is moving through your chart for each year. So, like I've just said, like, next year I'm contemplating, making a tarot deck or something because Jupiter will be moving through my fifth house of creativity. And I know that, being creative and making a deck will be fun for me. So, find out where's Jupiter moving through your chart over the next few years, and what could you do in your business that's going to line up with that Jupiter energy moving through those different houses. So that pretty much sums up our workshop for today. We've talked about how to plan out your week. We've talked about how to plan out your year, looking at the sun season, so planning it out pretty much month by month. And then we've taken a step a bit deeper by developing a longer term strategy by planning out, the next few years, hopefully, roughly. Know that your plans can change though. What you've planned today in today's workshop doesn't necessarily mean you're locked in, you've got to do all this now. Don't stress too much about it. It's just fun to plan and then, see what happens. Tuck this workbook away somewhere when you're finished with it, and you might come back to it in a few years and you'll be like, oh wow, this is actually what's happening now. I actually made that tarot deck and now I'm actually doing this thing. So, it's don't feel like you're restricted. Just use astrology as a guide, as a fun guide, and at the same time, honor what's going on for you, honor your feelings, and honor your intuition and where you want to go with your business. So if this workshop really helped you, I would love to invite you to the Soul Aligned Business Mastermind. In this business mastermind, I will be guiding you through so much more wisdom to run your soul aligned business. So whether you're selling products or you have services to offer, maybe you're a crystal store, maybe you make a jewelry, maybe you're an artist or a creative, maybe you're a healer, a naturopath, a tarot reader, an intuitive, whatever it is that you have to offer that is your soul's calling, I'm here to help you make that transformation from, having just that passion and to actually getting it out there into the world and making money from it. So if that's you, if that's where you're at, then the next step is to enroll in the Soul Aligned Business Mastermind. You'll find more information on this page below, and I would love to see you in there. We're going to have so much fun actually, making money in a soul aligned way, running a profitable business that is really ethical and aligned with your values. So I'd love to see you join me for this journey to running your own business. Thank you so much for joining me for the Astro Biz Planning Workshop. And yeah, if you really enjoyed this, you could share it with a friend as well. Just share them the link where you signed up, and I'm sure they would be really thankful as well for learning how to plan their business with a bit of astrology weaved into it.